today's topic, created by genes, sculpted by experience. What does it mean? And how do we transcend even that concept? So please tell me that you can hear me clearly, that you can see me clearly, and that we are ready to explore this topic. Demetrius, well, yeah, thank you. Loud and clear. Okay, so let's talk about this idea of created by genes, sculpted by experience. So when you were born, you were the product of 25,000 genes. A gene is a stretch of DNA that codes for a protein. And so that's how you began life, as a fertilized ovum that differentiated into about 30 to 50 to 60 trillion cells, as I've said, more than all the stars in the Milky Way galaxy, ultimately resulting in a human baby with a brain and all these bodily organs, heart, kidney, fingernails, hair, nose, liver, kidney, genes, all of that was created by that single fertilized ovum with 25,000 genes. So that's what we mean, created by genes. You were created by genes, stretches of DNA that code for proteins. DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. And there are 3,000 base pairs, 3 billion base pairs that constitute the human genome, but basically 25,000 words and 4 alphabets, A, T, C, G, adenine, guanine, cytosine, thymine, the chemicals of life. This is what created you as a baby. Then, of course, you acquired 20 million to whatever, 2 million bacterial genes, the microbiome, which participated in the ongoing process that we call a human body-mind. That was, in turn, an experience being metabolized into genetic and epigenetic activity. Experience gets metabolized into genetic and epigenetic activity and the entanglement of all that. So when you were born, you had a brain that actually had more neurons than you have right now. But the connectome, the connection between neurons, was not as profound as it is right now. That connection is due to what we call synaptic potentiation, which is use dependent. Use means experience dependent, both sensory experience and motor experience. So now let's look at this baby's brain, and it has lots of neurons, but as it starts to selectively experience the world, and what is experience? Sensations, sense perceptions, images, emotions and feelings, thoughts, and then, of course, the entanglement of all that into what we call a story. And that story is this karmic body. And so what happens is, in a baby, as a baby is exposed to experiences, both what we call perceptual activity and mental activity and emotional activity, and the entanglement of relationship, then that starts to sculpt the brain into a particular connectome. The brain is sculpted. After it's born, it's sculpted by experience. But of course, the sculpting of the brain is due to genetic activity. So the genetic activity is, of course, also a result of experience. So experience through genetic, epigenetic modulation and the sculpting of the brain is sculpting the experience of the body. And there's a storyline from fertilized ovum to death, which is a karmic storyline of qualia, really. Qualia, qualities of experience that are shaping and sculpting the appearance of the brain, the body, and the experiences that the body is having as a passing show. The scenery. The scenery includes mind, brain, body, and universe. And all the time in the background is you, awareness, witnessing the show. But the show includes what we call this fictional character, a changing body-mind in a collective dreamscape that we call the physical world or the physical universe. So this is what it means to be created by genes and sculpted by experience. But what are genes? Genes are information. Actually, genes are knowledge. What kind of knowledge? Knowledge of experience. Whose experiences? The experience of ancestors. Human ancestors, primate ancestors, mammal ancestors, rodent ancestors, reptile ancestors, plant ancestors, on and on. The entanglement of the planetary microbiome is what genes are. So what are genes? The experiences of ancestors that create this body, mind, brain experience, which in turn modifies itself as the experience of the physical universe. In other words, genes are memories, recycling as the body-mind appearance, which is also part of the scenery. But now we can sculpt the body-mind by recognizing that experience is what is being metabolized as the passing show, the dreamscape, which includes you and me as fictional characters in a collective dreamscape. And actually, all of that is our own creation through the conditioned mind. It's absolutely fantastic. But when then you realize that the conditioned mind is a phenomenon, which is an excitation, a modulation, a perturbation in pure consciousness, which is all there is, unimaginable and infinite and formless and self-evolving and self-regulating and self-organizing and self-correcting and impersonal, but having access to that as the formless being. Just close your eyes. What you're experiencing is yourself as a formless being. Open your eyes and form and phenomena appear as an excitation of consciousness, because in reality, even the world is formless. So if you transcend all these symbols and identify yourself as formless being in timeless now, then you'll recognize that the formless has the potential for all forms and phenomena. That we are the creator of the experience called genes by access to memory, and we are the sculptor of the body-mind world experience through conscious choices, or what we call metacognition. Metacognition is awareness of experience as it's happening in the moment, sensory experience, but also awareness of motor activity as you are making the choices in the moment. And with that, we are free. Ultimate freedom is knowing yourself as formless being, which has the potential to manifest as infinite forms and phenomena. What could be a greater gift to existence than that? That we are the creators of reality, or what we call reality, everyday reality. Ultimate reality, of course, is the non-local being, always present in timeless now, recognizing that now is not a moment in time. Created by genes, sculpted by experience, but who is the boss? You are the boss. And now I have an interrupt, so I'll go. Thank you. Hi, Roger.